Hello everyone. In this video lecture we are going to see module 3 of microcontroller and embedded systems. This is the syllabus for your module 3. In the previous video sections we seen embedded system definitions, history of embedded systems, classification of embedded system and major applications, also purpose of embedded system. Next another video lecture we seen core of a embedded system, including all types of processor, controller, memory, sensor, actuator, LED, 7-segment display, etc. In another video lecture we seen communication interface details, that is the two types, onboard and external types. In this video lecture we are going to concentrate on other system components. What you mean by other system components? In the previous all topics we seen basics of embedded system and what are the classifications, and memory, sensor, input output devices, and what are the communication method or interfaces we are using in the embedded system. Everything we seen in the previous video lectures. But here other system components, other than this basic thing, what are the things we required in the embedded system? Some of the components we are going to see in this video lecture. We have to refer Introduction to Embedded System textbook by Shibu KV. Other system components. Here first one is reset circuit. The reset signal brings the internal registers and the different hardware systems of the processor controller to a known state and start the firmware execution from the reset vector. Meaning of reset circuit is, here one reset signal is generated by this circuit that will change your entire device register value to initial value. That is initial value, you know that is a 0 or nil. So reset signal is generated by reset circuit. That reset signal will change your all registers to initial position, and all different hardware system of the processor controller to known state. Known state means that is the initial position. When we are starting our device or kit, at that time what is the initial position? Everything is in the zeroth state, or we can call it as known state or initial state. So reset signal will change your state to initial state. Here firmware execution from the reset vector. That means here in the bracket they given if any address is there, initially that address points to 0x000. Your reset circuit will generate a reset signal that will change your address to 00. You are working in the embedded system, somewhere it is 0x400 or 0x500 in the middle of the operation. But if you are going to apply reset signal, suddenly that address is changed to 0x, that is the initial position. So this is very helpful for converting your other state to known state or initial state. You are resetting your entire device. Reset signal can be active high or active low. We have two types of circuit we can see here, two diagrams. One is a active high, another one is a active low. Active high means we are going to apply 1. That means binary we have two, right? One is 0 and one is 1. We are going to apply 1 for on, 0 for off in the active high. And active low means if you want to on that device, we are applying, we are going to apply 0, and to make off we are going to apply 1. That is the active low. 0 is on, 1 is off. In this case 0 is off, 1 is on. These are the two circuits we have, active high and active low. We can apply any one of the operation, either active high or active low, for the reset signal. Second type of component is brownout protection circuit. The processor behavior may not be predictable if the supply voltage falls below the recommended operating voltage. It may lead to situation like data corruption. If a particular voltage is a working voltage, you need that much voltage for any embedded device. Sometimes because of some problem, your voltage, required voltage, will decrease. Not required voltage, your supply voltage will decrease. At that time we consider, I will go for an example. You need 10 volt for this circuit. That is a required voltage. Supply voltage will supply your 10 volt. Because of some problem, suddenly that supply voltage will reduce below 10 volt. But in order to work that device properly, we need 10 volt, but supply will decrease less than 10 volt. That may lead data corruption. That is the given in first point. Supply voltage falls below the recommended operating voltage, that may lead some situation like data corruption. Second point is brownout protection circuit holds the processor controller in a reset state. When the operating voltage falls below the threshold until it rises above the threshold voltage. We are using this brownout protection circuit to protect your data or to protect your circuit. Here you can see in the diagram, we are using one circuit. That circuit is called brownout protection circuit, that will save your embedded system device. If that so that means supply voltage, if that is below than operating voltage, suddenly your brownout circuit will protect your entire embedded device. If that brownout circuit is not there, that may lead to your either data corruption or your device damage. That is given in a second point. It holds the processor control in reset state when the operating voltage falls below the threshold until it rises above the threshold voltage. Here 10 volt is there now. It requires 10 volt, means if supply voltage is below 10 volt, then suddenly your system is going in reset state. That means it pause state. Your brownout circuit will keep your system or device in pause state, and when your supply voltage is again above 10 volt, then only again it comes to normal state. Certain processor controllers support built-in brownout protection circuit which monitors the supply voltage internally. Third type of device we are going to see, that is other system component, is oscillator unit. The instruction execution of a processor controller occurs in synchronous with a clock signal. The oscillator unit of embedded system is responsible for generating the clock for the processor. This is the answer for oscillator circuit. Second point. Oscillator unit means it is responsible for generating the clock for the processor. You need some of the clock signal for synchronization purpose. We need clock signal. That clock signal is generated by some device. That device is called oscillator signal. We are going to use this oscillator signal in all of the embedded systems. Many of the embedded systems, that range is the 10 megahertz. Like this, we are going to keep some particular parameter or range. Then we are going to keep that in per embedded device. Quartz crystal oscillator are example for clock pulse generating devices. That is one of the oscillator device. This one, quartz crystal. The main aim of this is to generate clock for the processor. Real-time clock. It is a system component responsible for keeping the track of time, tracking the time. You are going to keep track of time. That is a, we can call it as one counter also. In order to to track time means we can call it as counter also. RTC, that is RTC full form is real time clock, holds the information like current time, that is the present time, either in this format, that is in hour, minute and seconds. That is in two format, either 12-hour format or 24-hour format. It takes any one of the format, either 12-hour or 24-hour format, and it maintains the date also. It holds your real-time clock holds date also, month, year, day, that is the date, today's date, time, everything of the week, which week, that also is there in your real-time clock. That supplies the timing reference to the system. Okay, real-time clock will supply timing, that is either date, time, month, year, time, seconds, minutes, every information is sent to your system, embedded system. RTC is intended to function even in the absence of the power. This will work, there is no backup required, that means no power supply required. If absence of the power is there, that means we are not applied anything for that embedded device, then also this RTC will work. Okay, so no need power supply for this RTC. It will maintain the data, what are the required data, that will maintain inside the RTC without any problem. Then we have a watchdog timer. Watchdog timer is a very important thing, repeated in many question papers also. Watchdog timer, what do you mean by watchdog timer? It is a timing device. It is also timing device that resets the system after the predefined timeout. There is a fixed time, manually, either manually or automatically, there is a time. After that time out, that means after that time completes, suddenly your system gets reset. This is very much helpful, watchdog timer in many embedded systems. Here you can see, here we are using a timer also for keeping time or count, and here we are using a reset circuit also. After that time over, your system will reset. It is activated within the first few clock cycle after power up. Power up, not power off, power up. Once you are power up, that means switch on your device, you are going to apply some power or supply voltage is there, then it is activated within the first few clock cycles. Okay, everything works in embedded system based on clock cycle, because there is a synchronous device means that work based on clock cycle itself. So once you switch on the device, it is activated within the few minutes or few seconds. Okay, here it is represented in few clock cycle. It helps in rescuing the system if any fault develops and program gets stuck. If there is any system fault or suddenly your program or code will stuck, then at that time suddenly your watchdog timer, it will count your time, that means there is a fixed time, the count will decrease. Once that count reaches 0, suddenly your system get reset. If this watchdog timer is not there, then you can assume that if fault will continue whole day or 2 day, 3 day, like this, or if the program will stuck, means that program entire system will stuck till many days. That's why we need watchdog timer, that once your program is stuck, a few minutes or few seconds, that program stuck as it is, then suddenly your system get reset, so that you can run program again. So that is the use of watchdog timer. On restart, the system functions normally. The watchdog timer reset is required feature in control application. Yeah, application is control application. For controlling purpose, we are using this watchdog timer. So these are the some of the other system components they given in your module 3, a watchdog timer and real-time clock, then oscillator unit to produce your clock signal, and brownout circuit to protect your device if there is any suddenly supply voltage decreases below than pre operating voltage, then your this circuit will protect that. And our reset circuit, you can see the difference. Reset circuit and watchdog timer. Watchdog timer also reset your circuit, but with the particular time. Here time is not there. Just in order to reset your device, we are using this reset circuit. Here time is not required, or we are not using timer here. So these are the other system components we seen. Here by this we are going to complete end of the module 3. Here last other system components is completed. So any queries, just you can contact me. Thank you.